We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love.
You're so smart. You know we're having technical difficulties with that. Good morning, and a warm welcome to our Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of San Miguel de Allende. Buenos días y una cálida bienvenida a nuestra comunidad unitaria universalista de San Miguel de Allende. Gracias por acompañarnos para este servicio importante. Thank you for joining us for this important service. We welcome everyone, wherever you are, regardless of background or religious belief, whichever your race, and whoever you love, to join us in this exploration. Together, we weave a tapestry of love, acceptance, and growth. Damos la bienvenida a todos, donde quiera que estén, sin importar su origen o creencia, cualquiera que sea su raza y a quien amen, a unirse a nosotros en esta exploración. Juntos tejemos una tela de amor, aceptación y crecimiento. After our young explorers light the chalice today, they will go to class where they will be exploring the UU values of generosity, transformation, pluralism, and interdependence, as found in Aesop's fable, The Ant and the Grasshopper. My name is Kathy Canepa, and I will be our service leader today. Some announcements. After the service, those on Zoom, please stay connected so that you can visit with others in the main room for discussion. And if any of you are visiting on Zoom for the first time, please type your name into the chat box so we can greet you afterwards. And those here at the Aldea, Please stay and join us for coffee and cookies after the service, and take those cookies and coffee and check out the welcome table, which has a lot of information and opportunities for visitors, friends, and members. Also, come and bring your friends to Thursday luncheon games, and you can visit Tom's Coffee Hour on Zoom. Just check your OOS. Now, some announcements. Anyone who requested a permanent name tag and hasn't found it, please check the welcome table or the wooden boards outside with the name tags. They should be in alphabetical order, more or less, by first letter of your last name. Don't give up. Look. And calling all men, we have a new men's group being formed, and it's going to meet this Tuesday. So for information, please contact Bill Dalsimer or Marco Vangelisti. And Marco is just coming in over there. He's waving at you. Thank you. Where's Bill? And there, Bill has his hand up. So men, if you're interested, they'll tell you all about it. Now, very important, we're going to be showing Judy Jackson's award-winning documentary, Where Can We Live in Peace? The Migrant Crisis. It's going to be here at the Aldea next Monday, the 17th at 4:30, and donations will go to support ABBA House. And ABBA House has just lost funding from USAID, which indirectly through Church World Services was funding the salaries of Pastor Ignacio, their nurse, and 5 staff members. So please bring all your friends and neighbors. Monday, 1 week from tomorrow, 4:30, and there are flyers on the table. Judy is waving over there, and do check it out afterwards. Now, if we have any visitors here today, if you are willing, would you please stand so we can see who you are and personally greet you after? Oh, boy. Great. Thank you. Grab them after the service. And please visit our website for videos of previous services, events sponsored by the fellowship, and information on how to become a member. And now, Paula.
And now a welcome from the Social Justice Foundation. My name is Paula Peace, and along with our foundation team today, Rosemary, Donn, Jane, Nancy, and Edith, we welcome and thank you for joining us today to celebrate our Unitarian Universalist passion for social justice. Social justice work has long been a part of Unitarian Universalism. Our second principle, for example, upholds justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Khalil Gibran said, "Work is love made visible." And when we put our work into the second principle of Unitarian Universalism, we put love into social justice. Before their merger, Unitarians and Universalists were both active in making the world a better place. Through involvement in abolition, women's suffrage, temperance, and prison reform, among numerous other causes. Then after merging in 1961, UU activism continued in civil rights, the peace movement, the feminist movement, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender rights, and environmental justice. Many people come to UU congregations first and foremost because of our liberal voice in the community on these important issues. It cannot be emphasized enough that Unitarian Universalism entails not only the right and responsibility to come to our own theological understanding, but that freedom of belief also calls us, demands us to participate in social justice work. There is a wide diversity in how UU congregations around the world approach social justice work. Here today, we will shine a spotlight on this fellowship's deep, decades-long commitment to social justice and the recent steps taken to broaden and deepen our social justice work through our new Social Justice Foundation.
And now I invite Mary Lou, there you are, to join me as we lead our children's chalice lighting words, which remind us of who we aim to be. The children, after we recite these, will take the flame of our chalice in their lantern and go to class. So please, everyone, join in the words that you're going to see on the screen. And Sebastian, if you want to come on up, and he's going to light this and then later this when we're done. Okay. Okay, here we go. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism.
Iluminamos este cáliz para celebrar el unitario universalismo.
This is the place of the open mind. Este
Es el lugar de la mente abierta.
This is the place of the helping hands.
Este es el lugar de las manos que ayudan.
This is the place of the loving heart.
Este es el lugar del corazón amoroso.
Together, we care for each other, for the earth, and we work for friendship and peace in our world.
Juntos nos cuidamos unos a otros, cuidamos la tierra y trabajamos por la amistad y la paz en nuestro mundo.
Okay, light the chalice. Paula will join me for opening words.
Words from the UU Association. What is love calling you to do? The world needs Unitarian Universalists to show up for justice with spiritual grounding, generosity, humility, courage, and concrete skills. It is a spiritual practice to choose love over fear. We are most powerful when we understand that all the issues we care most deeply about are fundamentally interlinked, and that each of us has a role to play in building a world in which all people can be free and thrive. When we bring our best selves to our justice work, we are choosing to side with love.
¿Qué te hace elegir el camino del amor? El mundo necesita que los unitarios universalistas se presenten por la justicia con fundamentos espirituales, generosidad, humildad, valentía y habilidades concretas. Es una práctica espiritual elegir el amor sobre el miedo. Somos más poderosos cuando comprendemos que todos los problemas que nos preocupan más profundo están fundamentalmente interconectados y que cada uno de nosotros tiene un papel que desempeñar en la construcción de un mundo en que todas las personas puedan ser libres y prósperas. Cuando traemos lo mejor de nosotros mismos a nuestro trabajo por la justicia, estamos eligiendo apoyar con amor.
And now a few words about what is social justice like right here in San Miguel at this UU fellowship. What is love calling you to do? The world needs Unitarian Universalists to show up for justice with spiritual grounding, generosity, humility, courage, and concrete skills. Are we almost memorized with that now? I can think of worse things to know from memory. Especially now, I am incredibly grateful to serve as chair of your UU Social Justice Foundation. Now, while the world situation seems more distressing than I can recall, my volunteer work with the foundation is a source of real joy and really deep reward. Today is a great day for our fellowship as we celebrate the successful first year of our new Social Justice Foundation. It's been a time of big transition, and perhaps some of you are not aware of the journey to get here today. This UU fellowship was founded in 1987 by a small group of expats passionately dedicated to social action. For 3.5 decades, 50% of the annual budget was given away as grants to carefully vetted local nonprofits, which are called NGOs. We are all proud of this significant commitment to social justice. As the fellowship member numbers grew, our interest in building beloved community also grew. Our aging membership hungered for loving connection. Spirituality became a priority, along with social justice. The question was raised, how could we sustain both spirituality and ministerial leadership, plus support our important social action work? In August 2023, this fellowship's members voted to establish a separate wing to be dedicated to social justice. The new foundation would be connected to the fellowship, but was also free to explore new funding and new growth directions. It was a time of tremendous opportunities, but it was unknown territory and had its share of risks. But we used the time and the opportunity to dare to dream big and say, why not? Why not try? A small, important group of individuals invested in the dream as founding donors and bought the foundation some time to get new funding streams flowing without interrupting support for our previous grantees who depended on us. Our previous social action funding had come 100% from our fellowship members themselves. Why couldn't we expand our reach? So we tried. We have established a new Partnering for Justice program through which we partner with UU congregations in the U.S. to support our local NGOs. We can match partner congregations' interests with our vetted NGOs and help with language and banking too, I might say. Now we have UU partner congregations in New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Vermont who are partnering with us to support Libros para Todos, ABBA House, the EEE Deaf School, and Caminos de Agua. We asked the question, why can't we expand our reach by applying for global grants? So we tried. We received a significant grant for infrastructure, which we have used to hire a part-time administrator to professionalize and stabilize our foundation. The grant we received has supported all of our business costs, so that we can still assure that 100% of our donations that we receive go directly and completely to local NGOs. We also asked the question, why couldn't we expand our reach by establishing an endowment for the foundation? So we are doing just that. We've received a donation of valuable property currently for sale, which we will use when it does sell, to fund an endowment to ensure that the foundation will begin each year with funds. Why couldn't we expand our reach by making San Miguel a kind of social justice destination for the UU denomination? And so we are trying. You'll be hearing more about our tourist rental project, which will offer rental space to UUs from the US and Canada to come to San Miguel, experience our Pueblo Mágico, and see firsthand all the social justice work which we are supporting. And you can help. We hope that you will introduce us to your UU congregation in the US or Canada. We hope you will consider offering your extra home space to UUs wishing to visit here. We hope you will remember the Social Justice Foundation endowment when you are considering your legacy. And of course, we very much still need and still request your individual gifts as fellowship members. Today's offering and next week's offering will both be given entirely to the foundation. But if you have a fellowship pledge to make, just put it in an envelope and label it, and it will go directly to the fellowship, as you wish. But today is the official launch of our 2025 Gifts for Good campaign. We ask you to think of how generous you can be, not just today and next week, but this year, soon, if possible, or by promise for later. In just a few weeks, we need to award grants to 12 NGOs. And rumor is it we have some new applications coming. The word is getting out. And we need to be more generous than ever before. The needs really are great, and our response needs to be great. May we combine our passions for social justice and together make a life-changing, even life-saving difference for our neighbors with great needs. What is love calling you to do?
And now, as we continue our service with gratitude and reverence, let's join our voices together in song with hymn number 134. It's in your hymnal, and it will appear on the screen, but when we're standing, you might need your hymnal in the back. Number 134, Our World is One World. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and remain so for the covenant. The words will appear on the screen and are in your gray hymnal. You remain standing as we join together in reciting this fellowship's unique covenant. This is our promise that we aspire to of how to be in relation to each other and the larger world. I will lead us first in English, and then Carla will lead us in Spanish, and the words will appear on the screen, and they are in your order of service. We respect the interdependent web of life and work for a just and peaceful world. We encourage the search for truth and meaning, strive for compassion in our relationships, and seek values that will benefit our lives and the lives of others. This is our covenant.
Respetamos todos los estilos de vida dentro de su red interdependiente y trabajamos por un mundo justo y pacífico. Alentamos la búsqueda de la verdad y la comprensión total. Nos esforzamos por mantener compasión en nuestras relaciones y buscamos valores que beneficien nuestras vidas y las vidas de los demás. Este es nuestro convenio.
Please be seated. Let's all take a breath and settle so that we can truly be here for each other. This is the time in our service when we practice our empathy for each other, sharing and holding each other's joys, sorrows, or concerns. We light a candle for each, signifying that it is held by the entire community. To share a concern, email our minister, Tom Rosiello, during the week, or fill out a card on your way in the morning, or if you are on Zoom, you can write it in the chat box. And please know that if you are in need of support, you may contact our minister or our care team by going to our website. We light our first candle, which is one of sorrow. Longtime UUFSMA member Marlis Hahn passed away peacefully on Friday, February 7th at the age of 82. Marlis had served as a member of the fellowship's care team and the endowment committee. Her professional career was as an architect in upstate New York. She was fiercely independent and loved her 2 cats, and her wish is that one of her UU friends would take her cats and keep them together. Start thinking. There will be a notice with more information going out from our minister in a day or two. And we light a candle of joy and support for Donna Shoebrooks, who came home from the hospital and is recovering. Yeah. She is not able to have many visitors, but I know get well email will be appreciated. And we light a candle sending best wishes for a full and quick recovery to Ann Geyer. Ann had just returned to San Miguel and was on her way to the Aldea for service last Sunday when she took a bad fall, requiring a number of stitches and breaking her hand in 2 places. She's flown back to Houston, where she is getting surgery on Tuesday, and we'll have more information after that, but please send her get well wishes. And we light another candle of support for Jerry Fastrup and Gloria Pardo, who both continue to recover at home. Jerry would particularly love a visit from any musicians who can share their talents with him. Okay. And a candle of support for Bonnie McDowell, who is doing well after hip replacement surgery. And a candle of support also for Judith Genya, still recovering from a cardiac procedure. Now, we also carry great concern for our world. We continue to light the blue and yellow candle in compassion for all those suffering from the war in Ukraine. And we light our large candle representing the suffering in the Middle East on all sides, with hope for the fragile ceasefire to hold, joy for the reuniting of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners with their families, especially those who have renounced violence. And for the United States, we light a candle of hope and solidarity with all who are seeking ways to defend democracy, health care, human rights, and dignity of all people. Our last candle is for all the concerns felt here and by our members on Zoom felt deeply but not spoken out loud. During the following music, you may come forward to silently light a candle of joy or concern.
Thank you, Paula. That was beautiful. Good morning. I'm Rosemary Harman, and I'm one of the 5 governors of the Social Justice Foundation, here to give you my reflections on our year 1. The first thing I have to do is commend our chair, Paula Peace, for having the courage to take on year 1. It took courage. It took a lot of courage because we had a pretty high metric for our year 1 success. We would only really be successful if we raised and donated more than the $53,000 the Social Action Committee raised and donated the previous year. As Paula said, that was all by donations from this generous congregation. There was no way to know ahead of time if that was going to happen. But Paula was committed to making it work and not disappointing any of the NGOs that were depending on us for funding. And I'm happy to say it worked out beautifully. We have succeeded, not only by the financial metric, but by other metrics as well. We increased the number of NGOs served by adding the Migrant Safe House, ABBA House, as a new grantee. We started an emergency fund for urgent out-of-cycle requests and were able to fully meet the first request. We applied for and received the grant that Paula mentioned from the UU funding program. Number 4, Tom preached at several congregations in New England last year, starting new partnerships with the foundation. Our new partners donated close to $6,000 to our NGOs this past year through the foundation. And number 5, the foundation received the gift of property, again, that Paula referred to, from the Michael Ween estate, currently on the market for over $1 million. So when sold, that money will fund an endowment. We hope to never touch the principal, but the interest will go a long way toward making sure the foundation exists for many years to come. Oh, and that financial metric I talked about, that we needed to raise over $53,000 to be considered successful, well, guess what? We blew it away. We raised and awarded over $81,000 in 2024. Thanks to everyone who helped us get there. I never in my wildest dreams thought that we would be that successful, but there you go. It reminds me of something that Tom said one time when he preached, and he talked about a mindset of plenty as opposed to a mindset of scarcity. And Paula, leading us, always had the mindset that we were going to be successful. And we have exciting plans for 2025. We are continuing our outreach efforts to U.S. and Canadian UU congregations to partner with us in funding more local NGOs. And we are launching a new fundraising campaign offering tourist rentals in a UU home, partial home, casita, or room. Our grant from the UU funding program covered the expense of a half-page ad, which is shown on the screen, in UU World magazine, promoting these two initiatives. So if you are willing to serve as a host and open your home, you'll know they are UU members that are coming to visit us here who share your values and want to participate in our social justice initiatives. Please support us if you at all can by participating. Fees generated will go to the foundation, but since our hosts are being so generous with their time and their space, we are open to sharing agreements with our generous hosts, so you can support the foundation at no cost to you, and maybe even put some money in your pocket. How's that for a deal? I will be happy to discuss this new project with you in more detail after the service. Come see us at the information table over here to your left afterwards. We hope our work in 2025 will yield more relationships with UUs abroad who would like to aid our efforts here in Mexico. We are here for the long run, and we want to build partnerships that serve as cross-cultural bridges, especially now when the U.S. is misrepresenting and targeting our vulnerable people. If you're looking for a way to fight back against the hateful rhetoric and actions that are coming out of Washington, support us. You do that and so much more by supporting our efforts. And to everyone who contributed in 2024 and helped us reach this success, thank you, a heartfelt thank you from all of us at the Social Justice Foundation. And now I'd like to introduce my fellow governor, Donn Zellet.
Thanks, Rosemary. So for those who don't know me, my name is Donn Zellet, and I have the best job. I have the privilege of being the liaison with the NGOs. I visit them, I correspond with them on a very personal level. Each NGO is unique in what they bring to the citizens of San Miguel and of the entire state of Guanajuato. There's water issues. There's special education. There's childcare. There's housing in the campo. There's scholarships. There's the migration issue. And then we have an NGO that is an advocate for the citizens in the campo. You'll hear from them a little bit later. The insert that you got in your order of service kind of indicates that we at the foundation, when an NGO submits their application for a grant, what we insist on them doing is to be as specific as they possibly can with how your money is going to be spent. If you have any questions about any individual NGO and what they do with your money, I'd be glad to answer those questions after the service. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to list all 12 NGOs that we currently accept grants from, but there are more coming in, as Paula mentioned earlier. We have Libros para Todo. We have Abba House. We have Patronato por Niños, Jóvenes en Adelante, Mujeres en Cambio, Niños con Autismo, ISMA, that's the deaf school. We have CEDESA, and you're going to be hearing from them later. We have CILA, Centro Infantil de Los Angeles. You're going to be hearing from them a little bit later too. FAE, Fundación de Apoyo Infantil, Casita Linda, and Caminos de Agua. Okay. This morning I'd like to acknowledge, oops, this is too loud. This morning I'd like to acknowledge the stewards. Put it back? Okay. Okay, right now, God, I'm gonna cry here for a second. I lost a good friend. Marlis was my friend, and she was a steward. She was a steward for FAE, for Fundación de Apoyo Infantil, and she passed away. So I'd like to acknowledge the rest of our stewards if they're here. There are quite a few that are missing today, but all of the rest of the stewards that are here, I'd really appreciate it if you'd stand up and show yourselves. These stewards are working very hard on your behalf. They're volunteering their time to liaise, like myself, with their particular NGOs. And Marlis was one of them. So today we've decided to highlight two NGOs. They're both very unique in what they provide. One works within the city, okay, to take care of little tiny kids while their mothers are able to go to work and make a living for their families. The other one, CEDESA, works in the campo with communities. They advocate for the citizens of the campo and remind them and help them work toward what the government should be doing for them. I think you've all gotten some kind of there was a flyer that was handed out about CEDESA. It's a fascinating NGO. Okay, so the first NGO we're going to have today is Centro Infantil de Los Angeles, and we have a short video, and that's it. Thank you so much for listening.
Hi, I'm Nora Cohen. You know me as the Cookie Lady. And I am one of the stewards for CILA. And I'd like you to meet two amazing people. This is Patty Palacios, who is the director. And this is Cinthya Castillo. Ay, ay, ay. That's what happens when you turn 81. Cinthya Castillo is the volunteer coordinator. And as you could see from the pictures, the kids are absolutely beautiful and adorable. And their success later in life because of this program makes a huge difference. Cinthya is going to be telling you more about the program.
Today I stand before you with my heart in my hands to speak about a place where hope turns into opportunity and where education changes lives, Centro Infantil de Los Ángeles. In San Miguel de Allende, hundreds of children experience their early years marked by poverty and uncertainty. For them, education is not just a right, it is an urgent necessity. The only key that will open the doors to a better future. At Centro Infantil de Los Ángeles, these children receive not only high-quality preschool education and daycare, but also love, care, and environment where they can grow with dignity. Thanks to this center, 150 children have access to education, nutrition, and a safe place where they can learn and develop. But they depend on our help to continue. Imagine a child arriving here for the first time, a mother who works long hours to support her family, leaves her child here hoping that this place will provide what she alone cannot. In that child's eyes, there are dreams, but also needs. They need a safe space, nutritious food, quality education, and affection. And that is exactly what Centro Infantil de Los Ángeles provides every single day. But we cannot do this alone today. Today, I invite you to be part of this transformation. There are many ways to help. Through a donation, which will provide school supplies, trained teachers, and nutritious meal for 150 children who relied on Centro Infantil de Los Ángeles. By becoming a sponsor, your monthly contribution can change a child's life, ensuring they receive a continuous, high-quality education. By volunteering, offering your time and talents to support these little ones in their learning and development. Today, you could make a real difference. Every donation, every effort, and every act of generosity help ensuring that these 150 children continue receiving what they need to build a better future. Extend your hand, open your heart, and join us this mission. Because we support a child's education, we don't just change their life, we transform the entire world. Thank you, UU, for your generosity and believing in the power of education.
Wow. Thank you, CILA. Thank you so much. I've been part of the change in the lives of the kids as a local. A lot of people that I know in my context has been supported by you. My turn, it's about to talk about CEDESA. Maybe a lot of people have heard about them. And this is a great NGO. They only have since the 1960s. When I first heard about CEDESA, I didn't thought that they were the responsibles of my happiest days in my childhood, when they organized these indigenous fairs at Dolores Hidalgo. There, I was enjoy to happily with my parents see the indigenous communities thrive. All the campesinos showing prouder products that advances all the things they wield and all the knowledge they connect, at the same hand, fighting for their human rights. That's only that experience, but CEDESA has been for so long, and it's so big, that it's impossible to us just describe, only taking one of our many together values that we share as a UUs. And I will love to rescue the inherent worth and dignity of every person. So please, if you're in favor of human rights, give yourself a chance to meet them. Now I want to introduce our partners in the fight, Meche. Let's understand that it's unbelievable when we are in our first language, we're brave to encourage and train a lot of people. When we are out of our comfort zone, it's a little complicated. So I want to give a big applause to Meche and our compañeras. They are here from CILA. And I'm going to read this on behalf of them. Un proceso de vida en la cuenca de la Independencia. Since 1960s, through the work of the Catholic priest Guillermo Dávalos, began a process of accompaniment to the campesino communities in the northern and northeastern region of Guanajuato, now known as the Cuenca de la Independencia, Independence Basin. At the same time that he made a great efforts to obtain resources, he motivated, organized, accompanied, guide, and connect with the campesino community, helping them to see a world that had been denied to them, that the rights and freedoms. Once the impulse was achieved, he prompted to the appropriation of the people of their own processes and proposed two strategic measures to achieve it. One, to integrate a promotion team with the campesinos, and two, found CEDESA with a secular and autonomous character. For this reason, then a representative coup forced him to move away from his social work around 1969. Policies. It was able to continue and still continues. Among the many people who accompanied him in CEDESA team were Luz María Rivera Pérez, Teresa Martínez Delgado, and Graciela Martínez Delgado. Together with the priest Guillermo Dávalos, are recognized as the founders of this process of life, and who together with the campesino communities opened the way in this territory to initiate the path of a liberating process. After the death of the Father Memo, or Padre Memo, Lucha, and Tere, CEDESA continues to move forward with the aim of helping rural people to discover themselves as a full human beings with their capacities and limitations, and with all the possibilities of being promoters of the construction of their own projects for a dignified and sustainable life, individually and collectively, to create a system of integrality and autonomy. At CEDESA, we work for dignity and justice as legitimate aspirations of every person because of their human condition, by asserting rights, talents, and efforts, taking these purposes to the thoughts, hearts, and action of the people and the communities. We strive to build an equitable world for those who today are unjust. This accompaniment has been extended to the indigenous communities of San Miguel de Allende as a result of this process. The Rural Citizen Water Council, COCIRA, which is one of the many branches that we have as an NGO, has emerged where indigenous and peasant or campesino families organize themselves, addressing their most pressing needs, such as the supply of healthy water, having decent home with healthy food production, rescuing their traditions and ancestral knowledge so that new generations can continue to go life or bringing life to this territory. The work of the promoters is fundamental in this process to be sustained and continue to life. Women promoters have emerged from the same organized communities that accompany the process closely and can be compensated for their works. Thank you for the support of us, the Unitarian Universalist. If somebody needs the content, we can give you, we print plenty. Thank you.
Bueno, pues no sabemos hablar mucho inglés, pero queremos agradecerle mucho sus contribuciones y pues decirles que todas estas contribuciones apoyan al proceso de formación y capacitación en comunidades de aquí de San Miguel y pues decirles que CEDESA estamos ya la segunda generación ahí acompañando a las comunidades y no únicamente acompañamos comunidades de San Miguel, también de otro territorio de la cuenca y pues invitarles para que nos visiten en nuestra casa en Dolores Hidalgo y también aquí en las comunidades. Y gracias.
I'm Nancy Rao, the newest governor of only several months. I love San Miguel. The first time we came here for an extended visit, I fell in love. I told my husband of many, many years, I'm moving here. I hope you do too. That was over 10 years ago, and the love affair continues. At first, I was caught up in new friends, yoga classes, hiking, decorating, day trips, and of course, attending UU services. But at some point, it wasn't enough. I wanted to give back to my neighbors and the communities of my beloved San Miguel. Within a short while, I became a board member of Mujeres en Cambio. Mujeres provides scholarships to high-achieving girls in the poorest rural communities around San Miguel. The sad reality is most girls drop out after the 6th grade. In those poor communities, education is not valued, and at least not for girls, or is it not affordable after 6th grade forgot to wear my glasses. There's a lot of fees and charges which very poor rural families cannot afford. Education is not free. When I left the Meharry's board not too long ago, Meharry's was supporting over 170 girls at various stages of their schooling. Once Meharry's decides to support a candidate, she is supported from junior high school all the way through college, more or less a 10-year commitment. Meharry's is one of several of our more established NGOs supported by the Social Justice Foundation. Over the years, Meharry's developed a substantial financial reserve. In the event that they lose funding, they wanted to be able to fulfill their 10-year commitment to the girls. So why should the Social Justice Foundation continue to support this and other long-established NGOs? I can only speak of Meharry's, but while I was on the board, we did indeed lose support from a long-time substantial funder who had decided to refocus their gift giving. The board faced a big dilemma. Do we make sure we had the money to honor our 10-year commitment to the girls, or make the other hard choice? The loss of those dollars resulted in a very hard, and for me, emotional decision. We reduced the number of girls offered scholarships, and we reduced the amount of their scholarships. Personally, this was a very hard decision. We do not know the real impact of not supporting those deserving young girls. Real lives were affected. The important point I want to make is each of our donations genuinely makes a real difference to real people in the community I love. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. I'd like to make a few comments about Jane Wilkinson. After years of serving the fellowship, gotcha. After years of serving the fellowship as a board member, treasurer, member for a decade of the Social Action Committee, and I'm sure there are other things I'm forgetting, in early 2023, Jane Wilkinson was drafted to serve on the so-called Motley Crew. Those 4 members were charged with considering whether to retire the old Social Action Committee and establish something new. They said yes, and the new Social Justice Foundation was conceived. Jane then served on the expanded foundation planning team of 8 to get into the nitty-gritty details of how a separate foundation could be actually set up and governed. And that is when I came to also serve side by side with Jane. When I was appointed chair of the new foundation, I requested that Jane join our team of governors to serve as financial secretary. Fortunately, she said yes, and since then, she has done tons of banking in 2 countries, plus lots of spreadsheets and Quicken reports. Now Jane is approaching the end of her term as governor, and I'd like to say a great big heartfelt bravo. Well done, Jane. Thank you for all you have contributed to our successful transition.
Thank you, Paula, and for all you've done, too. I mean, I guess I don't need an introduction now. As you know, I'm the resident bean counter. I am here to talk money. I want to ask you for your financial support. This is something we need every year to be successful, and the majority of our funding for our NGOs comes from you, from members and visitors here. And so I'm here to ask you to open up your wallets and checkbooks and all that, and we really appreciate your generosity to help us support our very, very deserving NGOs. This is why, and we are having our guest week taking place in April, maybe early May, and we will particularly appreciate your immediate gift or a promise that has a commitment that has a payment date by then. There are a number of ways to show your support. Most people give us a check or send money to our bank account in Texas. But you can also contribute by PayPal. That works very well. And we have a button on our webpage so you can make that donation easily. And we accept gifts of pesos. We have a handout for you that gives, over on our information table, that will give you instructions on how to make out the check, and or if you want to send it or have it electronically transferred to our bank, how to do that. We are set up to receive gifts from IRAs and charitable trusts, and there may be tax advantages to those kinds of gifts. We will work with your fund custodian as needed. We have a form better table for people who want to make a commitment to give to us in the future, or for those of you who are not members or donors last year. But happily, since we know a lot of you don't like forms and doing them anew every year, if you are already a member, as long as you're in our directory, you don't need to fill out a form. Just give us some money, okay? We just need your name on it, though, so we know who you are. Finally, we encourage you to consider a legacy gift for us, something in your will which others have done. We can help you with the particulars of such a generous gift. So once again, I thank you for your generosity last year, and I ask for it again this year.
And a final good morning to everyone for me. I'm the last member of the Social Justice Foundation. My name is Edith Sanchez, and I serve as the administrator for this wonderful social justice foundation. Just wanted to remind you that today the focal point of generosity lies at the heart of the Unitarian Universalist faith. It's about just more than words, really. It's about action. It's about making a tangible difference. You saw it both by CILA and CEDESA that we can really make a difference here. So the fellowship is the bedrock of that action, and it's the community that sustains us. It nurtures our children through programs like Young Explorers and provides the spiritual nourishment that we all crave. It's the place where we connect, grow, and find strength to work for a more just world. Every Sunday's offering supports all of that. It keeps our doors open, our online presence strong, and all of our programs thriving. It nurtures this cherished community we all share. Today, however, we share this special opportunity to support our social justice work. While we regularly contribute to the foundation, today's offering will be dedicated entirely to the foundation. You can always make a distinction of your intentions, by using an envelope and making it fellowship or foundation. This distinction is important because the funds are used for different purposes. Fellowship donations ensure the continued operation and flourishing of our community. And foundation donations, like today's, directly supports the 12 vetted NGOs that the Social Justice Foundation partners with. Our commitment to social justice extends beyond these walls and into our community through the Social Justice Foundation, a vital part of this fellowship, and this is where your generosity truly transforms lives. The foundation directly supports local organizations providing crucial services like clean water, housing, medical care, and so much more. It's how we put our faith into action, addressing the needs of our neighbors right here in San Miguel de Allende. These 12 NGOs are carefully vetted to ensure your contributions have the greatest possible impact, and we hear there are more planning to apply for support for their important projects. Applications for support will be coming next month in March. So as we prepare to receive the offering, please consider how your contribution, whatever its size, empowers both the fellowship and its programs and the vital work for the Social Justice Foundation. Remember, today's offering goes directly to the foundation and those 12 NGOs. It's an investment in our shared values and commitment to building a more just and compassionate world for all. Thank you.
Now, let's join our voices together in song with hymn 131, Love Will Guide Us. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. The words will appear on the screen and are in your gray hymnal, number 131. Seated.
Final remarks. The UU Fellowship's Pledge Campaign for 2025 has received our important support, which it so deserves. Now, it's time for us to take care of others, to make our gifts for good, for social justice. Come speak to us, governors, at the Foundation info table. We welcome your questions. We have info sheets to clearly explain how to donate. There are envelopes you can take today and bring back next week with a check inside, or with your promise of when you can make a gift. And that knowledge will also help us so much. We invite you to join us in living our UU social justice values right here. Together, we can do more, much more, and even more. And there is so much more we need to do. What is love calling you to do?
Our closing words, "May your call be awakened," are by Michelle Lagrave. We come to religious community from many paths and with diverse needs. If you come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you have come here looking for answers, may you find new questions. If you have come here seeking purpose, may your call be awakened. If you have come here hoping to build a new way, may the path open before you. Please remain seated for our postlude so that you can all see the screen. It is "Rise Up, but Don't."
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you.
When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you.
All we need is hope, and for that we have each other. I said for that we have each other. Oh, we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times again.
again and again and again. And we'll rise up high like the wave